of having exposure to the best spices and herbs, I mean, in the marketplace, and looking and going, okay. So I have quite an here is some that I'm preparing for my friends. There's not so many here, but a few different spices and herbs. But I've bottled them all.
Preparing them for...
Oh, well, I will give them, I've been giving them out. It's my great, I love to, I think of a friend and I go, oh, maybe they would like, okay, I'll do that. They were gifted, some of them were being gifted to me, so I have made it my job to prepare them into glass, and then there was twice as much as that, but I've already sent them out. But I something in me really values that, because when they go, oh, thank you, and I said, yeah, I thought of you, I thought you might like that. I said, just make sure you do lots of cooking.
So you spent time in India and then in Tibet. When did you finally come back home?
Oh, straight after that, when we returned to Australia, we decided we would return to Aotearoa, New Zealand, and settle.
How old were you?
I was 27.
27.
Was I 27?
Would you say your herbal practices were, your interest was sparked through your Maori upbringing, or is it when you experienced other parts of the world that more rounded that out?
I think India had quite a big impact on I was 24, 25. And I was also very well in India. I actually remained very healthy, it was quite, I didn't know that was quite something, but I cooked a lot of our own food, my husband and I thought, I didn't realise you're supposed to get sick and nearly die there, but a lot of people, Westerners do.
Okay.
And I thought, no, you learn from the people. They will teach you. If they say, Memsab, no, don't drink that. No, don't drink the water, then you don't drink it. But, or certain things. But, yeah, it just consolidated that I had a very rich culture of my own to dive into after living amongst in India, and that I would return to Aotearoa, New Zealand, and then I had my first daughter, Whetuiti, and I would begin a very big journey around our own cultural heritage. In 85 I returned to Aotearoa, New Zealand, and the culture here, there was the renaissance of Te Kohanga Reo, which was an early childhood movement where children were being asked to, Māori children, place your preschoolers into a kohanga as a nest. And the Kohanga Reo movement was for them to be brought up around their own language as the main language and be totally immersed in it for the first 5 years. But little did I realise that Kohanga Reo in Aotearoa, New Zealand would lead the way for other indigenous cultures. They would come in and we would be a lens that they would want to know. The Irish were the first that came. 2 years later they came out, and because they were wanting the renaissance of their Gaelic Celtic tradition and how to do that, and they saw us being very proactive in instilling that into our babies. So they were fascinated and thought, okay, how do you do this? Oh, you be a little bit feisty and you put your foot down and you get some people in government, you get them to pass laws and make policies and you do that part, the legal part, and then you do the social part. There were a lot of work that had to be done.
And what do you see your place was in that work that needed to be done?
My main work in Kohangareo is I became known for the growing of gourds, which are a traditional. I've got only one in the room, but I grew. It's called Hele Putehoe. We didn't have clay as such. We grew the gourd, which was a calabash. I'll go and get one in my room. Is that all right?
Yeah, of course.
It's just in my room there.
Sort if I take a picture of it?
Yes.
Yeah, we just haven't gotten there yet, and I'm trying to because I don't want to jump around. We don't really have much time, so
So I have quite a collection, but it's all down in the storage, just down in storage. So the gourd, which comes under the domain of Hele Putehoe. So I grew these in Kohangareo because the children had never seen them. But they also came from my experience in India, because the sitar is made from a gourd, which my husband
learned how to play, right? That was what he was studying there.
Yes, he was playing.
So you grow them, and then you also created them, and
I didn't actually do the artwork on these. I'm mainly a grower.
Okay.
Also, they have many uses. So they are used for. They are the vessel, the container in which the placenta. So all the placentas from my 4 children were put into gourds, and my mother then, soon after their birth of my 4 children, would take them to the far north and bury them on ancestral land. And then I became sought out for gourds. People wanted a gourd for their babies. Midwives as well would come when they learnt of my practice and would want a gourd.
Would you say a lot of your practices were around children and childbirth and things like that? A lot of your medical practices, is that a big gateway for that?
Absolutely. Ukaipo. My main foundational work is in is breast milk, kai is to feed, and po is night. So ukaipo is to feed in the night. But it's conceptually a whole understanding of where the child is first breastfed. It's a whole rhythm and nurturing and sustaining the life of a little person, ukaipo. So when you pass on, someone may come, or will in the Māori world come and say you're lying at home, the body is at home, and ask for you to be returned to your ukaipo, which is not the local cemetery, but to go back to your people where your mother first breastfed you, because you may be living away from home. You may have moved in, like myself, living in Raglan, and so if I pass here in Raglan, my people from the north would come down and ask for me, or not, and make a big story and demand, like, She is ours. We want to take her home. She's okay. All right. To be returned to your ukaipo. Yes. Yeah.
Was it hard for you to learn about a lot of the like Maori medicine like practices? Was that easily available once you started being curious about it?
I had the good fortune of being. First, I was a very good student, so I was known to. If you asked me to do something, I will do this. So people would then adopt me, in a sense of they would want to teach me, because they felt I would be respectful of the knowledge. So